have Kingsley Obom William. I hope I got that right.
You did.
Parenting and teens counselor. He joins us in the studio to talk about how we can manage this.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
It's always a pleasure.
Are you feeling the harmattan or lack of it?
No, it's actually, the last time I was here, my head got frozen.
Okay, let's get to it. Every time you came here, you always reminded us how different things have become over the years, particularly in the parenting space. And perhaps a little more explicitly, how parents do not have as much understanding of their children this generation as they ought.
Yeah.
And how that the strategies that worked for parenting back then do not really apply anymore.
Yeah.
Now, to be specific today, it's about age-appropriate behavior. And this conversation is more about parents than the children.
Exactly.
What do you make of it? Is there such a thing? Let's begin from there.
Of course. Of course there is. I mean, you know, but within the limits of milestones, you know, and the basic milestones are talking, walking, toilet, how do I put it now? Toilet behavior, let's just use that, because some will say how to wee-wee and poo-poo. You know, personal hygiene to a large extent, or to some extent, courtesy, just those basic things. But you see, social behaviors are also not physiological milestones. They are social milestones that are transferable. In other words, if you always enter your house and you leave your shoes by the door, if you do it every day, one day, your child will also do the same thing. Even if that child hasn't started talking, the child will take off his or her shoes. Why? It's social learning. And don't forget, children they are described as the experts in mimicry. So that is an expression of social learning. So they are watching, and then they are repeating what you're saying. I don't know if you remember this. You must have seen some children just, because you could tell that child has been attending a lot of that videos. I'm watching the parents, and then you see some children, and they say, oh, me. It's an expression of mimicry. They have been watching certain adults in their lives. And then they see these adults shake their heads and utter certain things, and they've come to accept that this is how adults do. This is what they do, especially when they pretend to be praying, you know. So these are behaviors. Okay. Now, within the sphere of appropriate behavior, like I said, you have the physical one, you have the cognitive appropriate behavior, or rather, you have the appropriate behaviors that are, cognitive based. You have the ones that are emotional. You have the ones that are social, and then emotional.
It's the ones that are physical that people see. Okay, so
no, the physical ones are basic milestones. For instance, a child is born. Between age 1 and 2, the child starts to work. That is a physical milestone. And why is the child working? Because there are adults in the room who are not crawling. So the child starts to reason, these guys,
they have legs like me.
Exactly. And they are walking. I need to try. And then sometimes you can even fast track that by lifting the child and then moving the child. If you do that every day, before you know it, the child will start to work much earlier than other children.
Let me see if we can speed it up a bit and get to the core. Parents are uncomfortable when a child is disobedient, recalcitrant,
exhibiting maladaptive behavior.
Maladaptive behavior, pretty much, showing behavior that the parent has to repeat and repeat and repeat, which the parents can interpret as deliberate disobedience and all of those things. So, is there anything parents need to understand there about, okay, this child knows the year word.
You know the
year word.
Yeah. Okay, first, I think the parents need to equip themselves with certain knowledge. And what is that? Children copy more than they listen. Now they understand. But sometimes when what they see contradicts with what they hear, they do what they see. So that's one factor. The second factor is...
so in other words, if the parent is a liar, we should respect the child.
I mean, it goes without saying. If you keep saying, read your book, and then as a parent, you haven't demonstrated, you haven't shown how pardon my word, how sexy reading is, I'm not going to read. I just pretend to be reading, but in my mind, I want you to get out so I can go and do some other things. But if you can demonstrate that this thing I'm telling you, not only do I do it, this is the result. It's only natural. You won't say much, and it kicks in. So how much have we modeled the instructions? And then there's also something you need to understand. Sometimes when children are forming their personality, you as a parent, you need to understand personality differences, individual differences. You have 4 children, you have 4 different human beings. So that Alero and Jide are behaving like bookworms doesn't mean that
Kingsley,
the guy not send you. If you like, drop 1,000 naira for the best reader. I no go read that book. So you need to understand that these are different people. What works for one will definitely not work for the other. So if you understand that, then you need to parent them based on these individual differences.
Isn't that a little complex? My apologies. Isn't that a little complex for parents? Because on the one hand, we put 30 children, 20 children in one class.
Yeah.
They're all taught the same thing, the same way, by the same teacher, and they're all examined equally.
Yeah.
How should it be? Why should it be different at home?
At home. But even the example you gave, we're not getting results there. We're not getting good. We're not doing well there. It's like saying you have the fish, you have the elephant, you have the leopard, you have the eagle. You're all teaching them, and on the examination day, the test is you have to climb a tree. How many of them will climb tree? It's bad. There are children you know very well that I have them in my house. There's one of them. I don't know if she's watching now, but I'm sorry, you are watching me, no problem. She's smart, but she has a way. She will ban exams from our system because that's not the best way of expressing her intelligence. Once you formalize these things, forget it. There's wahala. So the mere thought of evaluating their learning in a formal way where you have to grade, it gives them a problem. So, and there are people like that, so many of them. So our system is...
So, my apologies. So is that the reason why some parents are frustrated by the fact that my children doesn't study?
Yeah, they study, but you don't understand how they study. You don't know how to learn. You don't know
the students that are paying the school fees. The thing they pay.
They pay. But you see, you who is paying the fee, the first thing you need to do is to go to school and understand the child that you're raising. If you don't, it's just like a poultry farmer, yeah? That's correct. You're rearing chickens, huh? And you don't even understand that these chicks, there are certain weather conditions that could be injurious to their thriving and survival. And then you think all they need is feeds. And then you start to feed them. But but forgetting that there's a disease somewhere, and that disease kills all of them. So you need to understand that you are raising personalities that are diverse, individuals that are forming their identity, and then you also have this part of it that we don't realize, and which is they are unique gifts. These are gifts they were born with, and if you suppress that gift, what you've succeeded in doing is you have reconfigured an entire human being. I'll give you an instance, Ayo. A child who comes into this world with exceptional kinesthetics ability, you know what that means? The child's intelligence is expressed in the use of his or her body. And the child is in a school where, first of all, you know these schools that are in a duplex. They don't even have a playground, let alone a football field. How do you want that child to manifest? No. So that child is going to be in the classroom, frustrated, bored, and maybe one day the child will conclude that education has come.
Okay, so how do we take this further? The reason for that question is you are asking us to understand children.
Yeah.
Good. We were once teenagers.
Yeah.
So shouldn't I use
No, we're even children now.
We were children,
Yeah.
Thank you. But it's those teenage boys and girls that's the real thing. Because parents do a lot of comparing. I'm not comparing you, but look at your friend.
but even at that, let me add to that. Please keep his thought.
Okay.
Is there a global standard to managing teenagers? Because there's a school of thought that says once you get children get to the teenage age, they all seem to behave the same. I can do it by myself. I know how to do things. I can make my own decisions. I'm not a kid anymore. You know, it's the same language and the same expectation.
In adolescent, what you're referring to now is, an adolescent psychology, where you understand the peculiarities of the adolescent age, which is usually from age 8 to 22. In between, you now have the teenage age, but it's all blended within the adolescent. So at that period, when the child's the hormonal changes begin, you can't expect the child to remain the same. So it's a basic biological reality. It's not a global standard. Do you understand? So as soon as my body starts to change, my brain will start to act differently. Do you get? The moment I start to wonder, why am I having wet dreams, which nobody even told him that this is wet dreams?
Exactly, leading me to ask, is that we don't prepare the children.
No, you're talking, dude. Now you're talking.
The evolution.
Now, you're a girl. You saw
something is
swelling on your chest. You're looking at it, what is this thing? This thing wasn't like this before. And then the next thing, you're having your bath and blood started coming out. These are physical manifestations, but before that, they are biological manifestations. That things have changed in my system, and nobody's engaging me around these things. I'm trying to figure them out. In the course of trying to figure them out, we have house chores to deal with. We have schools to deal with. I have my grades to pass. And beyond that, somebody's even punishing me for not doing what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm dealing with. And then I'm liking this boy. I don't know why I'm liking this boy. He's coming around. He makes me feel one kind. Nobody's telling me how I'm feeling one kind. And then I'm liking this girl. Nobody's talking to me. I'm going to bed at night. I haven't gone to the bathroom to pee, but I wake up, everywhere is wet. Nobody is engaging with me.
Rather, they beat me for bedwetting.
My brother. So these are the things that, back to your question, you see, we were not well raised in the sense of our parents didn't understand us. We had to go through these things, deal with them, and now it's our turn. And we're starting to expose ourselves to knowledge. And that knowledge is giving us some insight into, this man and this woman ought to have done this if they knew what I know now. Do you get? So we ought to start correcting those anomalies that our parents allowed us to go through. And what are those anomalies? Which is the fact that Jide has certain natural abilities to understand maths more than Ayo. It is called logical intelligence. That is not to say Ayo will not understand maths. But the time that Ayo needs to understand maths could be like 3 hours, whereas in 30 minutes, Jide will understand the concept and it's good to go. But the teacher, because he only knows how to teach people like Jide, as soon as the class is over, 30 minutes, do you understand? Yes. Any question?
No.
And then the Ayos in the class, I don't understand this video. I didn't understand. Meanwhile, Jide becomes the SI unit of measuring his ability to teach maths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas, dude, I can understand maths, but you haven't stayed with me long enough. And then Ayo gets home and, can I see your report card? Wala is starting. Can't you see Jide? Is Jide not in the same class? Look at this. We didn't understand that this guy has certain dispositions that makes it easier for him. And then there are also subjects that Ayo will be high flyer that Jide can't accomplish because of those natural inclinations. So these are all those individual differences that kind of dictate the age-appropriate behavior, quote unquote, that parents are oblivious of, for which
there is a conversation that Joke is not aware of that we have had that we must discuss next. This struggle with gentle parenting.
Yeah.
We'll come to that in a different future.
There's a colleague of there's someone I know. I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna just put this in, that said that, I think the husband is not around.
Okay.
But when the husband was around, it was tough. It was when the husband left that the children knew that she's also a tough mom. So that takes care of the gentle parent.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
One of us is gentle until the other is not around.
No, I assure you, it's not really.
All
right, we have to go.
Thank you so much for your time this morning again. Doctor, yes, maybe you are working on it. Kingsley of Parenting and Teens Counselor, we appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.